Hey everybody, thank you for joining. This is the third part of the Desert Temple series that I started recently. We're going to pick up today where we left off. This time I've gone ahead and sped up the build because again, this is hours and hours of work, and I don't know that anybody really wants to see 10 hours of straight gameplay, including all of the resource gathering and whatnot. So here we are working on one of the upper levels of the Desert Temple. In total, the temple will have 3 levels above ground and the lower level, which is the basement. And that basement, well, we'll get there. Due to the size of this build, it did take a lot of gathering of resources, which also takes time. The Desert Temple block requires both sandstone and indigo. So the best way to get a lot of indigo is to just start farming it yourself. You will never collect enough if you're just relying on gathering it in the wild. So what you really need to do is, pick up a little bit out there in the wild and then start growing it. I put down usually 50 to 100 plants at a time to grow, and then I harvest them. And then as soon as I harvest them, I go back to the seed bed and get some more seedlings started so I can replant more and just have a continuous process. Especially if I know I'm going to be using a certain resource more than another for a build. Otherwise, I just kind of try to rotate my crops so that I have good stock of everything going at any given time. Here I'm just enclosing the staircases. Makes it look a little more pleasing to the eye when finished, just to have that staircase enclosed. And it gives you another wall that you can use in your builds just to put stuff up against. Breaks up the giant room a bit without having to create separate rooms. And while I'm building, since the temple doesn't really have bedrooms, I've been carrying this sun lounger with me. And when it comes night, I just pop it out and sleep as I'm building. Don't need to have a bedroom set up or anything yet. It's simple enough to do it that way. I did cut out all the resource gathering on this, so if you see, jumping from one spot to another, that's what happened. I don't think you guys want to watch that part. It's a bit boring. Just checking out the outside, see what it looks like from the outside. And here I decided to kind of redo the front entrance as well as the front of the building and pop it out more. Now the flame felt a little too close to the main front wall of the building, so I just decided to increase the size of it, especially while I don't have all of the top levels finished yet. It's easier to readjust when you only have one level to update. And since I am doing like the patio or balcony type areas on the upper levels, popping it out just a little bit doesn't really affect anything built up there yet either. And this is kind of how I build. I start with an idea, and as I'm building, sometimes as I think something else will work better, and I try it out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes I have to go back and fix it again. Different build styles for different people. Other people have a set plan and an idea in their head of how it should be and stick to that, and I kind of just leave it open for revisions or modifications during the process. I had somewhat of an idea in mind what I wanted, but nothing is ever fixed. And I probably spend more time on my builds because I do change my mind, but that's okay. Having to redo these windows kind of annoying because the windows don't by default come that large. They're custom size windows, but once you do it enough you get pretty good at popping them out quickly. I'm still debating whether I want to just leave them wide open or whether I want to put some of those frames in. I think it's the steel or the iron. They're kind of like the grates. See it in some of the other Kindle Waste builds. Trying to make sure I got this centered, and I'm gonna run outside and gather some more resources, or make some more resources. I guess I didn't like the look of the entrance and decided to change it up slightly again. I kind of did this to give it some more texture along the sides of the building, and I want to replicate that on the upper levels as well. And I'm enclosing that staircase down to the basement as well, so it's uniform throughout. Again, it gives it another nice wall rather than a hole that you can accidentally walk into. And back here, I am deciding to pop out the building a little bit more. I think at the time when I first did the first floor, I was getting a little bit sick of terraforming and popping out the land, but now I just decided I'm gonna make it an even, a nice shape. It'll work better for the upper levels. So yeah, I it didn't take that much time. I don't know why I didn't do it the first time. So up here, the challenge was trying to figure out where to put, you know, the walls, because I did want to try and keep that staircase in, while also leaving like some balcony space around the building. So I wanted it to be smaller, but just due to where I put the staircase and not wanting to have to redo that and move it all, I just kept it. We can always make it smaller on the 3rd level. And all of the levels of the temple will be the extended height to the large blocks high instead of just the regular one. And I think that just looks like a little more special. So once I figure out if I like the shape that I have it, I'm going to start adding the 2nd layer, and definitely need to make sure I have doorways to access that outdoor space. And here I'm just checking to make sure it's somewhat even around the edges. Checking things out. I think it looks good, so we're gonna encase the steps so we don't have a fall hazard there. And adding the 2nd layer to this level. Just kind of trying to figure out where I should put the staircase to go up to the 3rd level, which will be the next level that we build. I want to make sure they're not like too far from the ones that come up to the 2nd level, because when you go up levels, if you're going to go from the 1st level to the 3rd level, you want to have to, you know, walk halfway across or all the way across, you know, one level to find the next staircase. So I'm kind of close. You can just make it a seamless trip. And one of the things I always do is come back out here way in front to kind of get a look just to see how it's looking from afar. Make sure everything looks good and looks even that way. So close you can't tell quite as much what it looks like. It's always a good idea to run away and look at it from further away. And I obviously thought the one side looked a little uneven, so I'm just adjusting it a little bit. And of course I don't have any more materials, so gotta go get those quick. Got those materials, so now I am just kind of fixing up some little mistakes that I found. Crafting some more blocks really quick. I'm definitely gonna have to go get some more soon. And I like to come back here. And this is a farm I was telling you guys about, my main base on Bittermelt Lake. I do a tour of this base, by the way, on my channel. Just look for the tour playlist. This is where all my craftspeople and villagers are at this point. This is my most built out base that I have. And I don't have a huge farm area as you see, but it works. Just need to make sure you rotate the crops and harvest them every so often and make sure to replant. That way it never feels like you're actually waiting for the things to grow, planning ahead, and just building a stockpile of resources really helps. I'm trying out the stairs here, see how this works. Doing side-by-side staircases is usually really good. That way, you know, like I said before, when you're going up from one level to the other, they're right there. It's more of a seamless trip. I ran out of resources, had to go get some more. As you can see, I was trying to figure out that stair placement up there. I don't know if it's quite gonna work. Let's continue building our third and final level. This will be the smallest level of them all. placement of those stairs is troublesome. So I'm just moving them over a little bit. It's still close enough to the other set that I don't think it's going to be a huge problem. It'll still allow for, you know, a smooth transition from level to level. And it creates some more interesting walkways within the building itself too. Different halls and stuff to go down. And once again, I'm enclosing the steps to make a nice little hall space between the two stairs, the up and the down. So I think I like the placement here. I'm going to finish off this third level. And again, it's much smaller, so the concept was for it to get smaller as we went up. And for every level, there's also a doorway to get out. And just to enjoy the patio levels on the different parts of the building. Doing the double height for each of the floors in the building does mean you use a lot more resources, but I think it works. It makes the building look more impressive and more special, especially from afar. And out in the desert, there's not a whole lot of stuff, barren land. So having large, recognizable structures is good. They don't look as large with the barrenness around them. So it's more suited to large structures. And while I was up there, I noticed a little mistake in my build, so I'm going to fix that here. Didn't realize that one of my things was popping out more than the other. Just kind of fixing out some of the building gaps that I have. And then punching out more of the windows so the look is uniform throughout the whole building. We don't have as many up on the third level, but they are on the front face of the building, so that part of it at least looks, uniform. What do you guys think? Should I put grates in the windows or should I just leave them open like they are? Let me know in the comments what you think would look best. Okay, so jumping off again to do my far away look. See how things are looking. It's looking pretty good, but it's missing a little something. So I do want to add some of this extra texture around the entryway, kind of like I did on the first level. Trying to figure out what would look good here. And here I'm realizing that I didn't quite do these evenly on the first level. One sticking out more than the other. And that's because when I put them on, I didn't have snapping on, because I wanted them to be recessed into the wall a little bit. So mistakes can happen. And I'm just kind of fixing it and making sure that this side is aligned with the other side. Similar depths, and now they do look even now. Trying to put that upper piece on there, but this angle isn't really making it very easy. So let's try it from the top. Maybe it'll be a little better up here. A lot better. Still a little tricky, but a little bit easier. And I realized that doesn't look quite right how I had it. In the first level, I actually have the beams not right up against the door, a little bit further away. So we're going to try that up here too. Just move it away from the door a little bit. And I think that looks much better than right up on the edge of the door. And again, since we learned our lesson on the first level, we're going to put these cross beams on from up here. Then we're going to repeat the pattern on the third level as well for some design consistency. And checking to see what it looks like. And again, I think this is another instance where I was lazy when I was initially doing the design, or maybe I hadn't fully thought out my design. Kind of just terraforming here a little bit to extend that outdoor patio space the full length of this side of the building, so it is consistent with the other side. And now I'm deciding that I want some outdoor stairs that will lead you to each level as well, so that you don't need to use indoor stairs as well to enjoy the outdoor spaces. So I'm going to put in stairs on the outside for each level where it makes sense. I'm going to make sure it doesn't look out of place or too crammed anywhere. And this side near the back was a good spot for this one. Also lines up nicely with the door, the exit door on the second level. Didn't quite like that placement. I'm gonna try back here instead. That was a perfect spot for the stairs up to the third level. It was kind of an unutilized, awkward space. And now I'm thinking, in keeping with the concept on the inside of stairs to the next level should be in close proximity to each other. That's why I decided to move them from the other side of the first level to this side. That way you can traverse from the first to the second and the second to the third levels just as easily. And I'm closing these in to make it look more realistic. Floating stairs. You can make floating stairs in this game, but it doesn't look real. And then, of course, once we have stairs, especially located on the side of the building, going up a height, we're going to need to add in some railing. And railing is something that I want to add to the building in general for some extra ornamentation. Make it look a little fancier. So we'll just finish up these stairs here, fill in the little blinks. And when I build, you see Often I'll make stairs and other things to help me get to spaces. Yes, there's scaffolding, but I find it annoying to have to carry an extra thing in my backpack when I have, stones and other resources that I could just use to craft the same sort of thing. So no, I don't like to use the scaffolding just because it's an extra thing I have to carry, and I like having as many spots in my backpack to carry other things as possible. I don't like to have to drag around scaffolding. And then I was just fixing some spots in the terrain. I found a hole over here from when I had terraformed earlier. So just filling it in with some limestone terrain blocks. Right here, where we're building, it's where like two different biomes kind of meet. The Kindle Wastes and the Albany Summits. So you go from the desert, and this is kind of where this is right now. So in the front of the temple is more like the desert of the Kindle Wastes, and then on the spot where the actual temple is kind of the transition land, where we're transitioning into the Albany Summits. So you get the rockier foothills, I guess you could say. And then the Albany Summits is the higher mountainous area with the snow and the cold. We're not quite in that cold area. I think it's a cool little spot where you have like two biomes meeting. And then you can see I'm adding this railing. It's a stone railing. And I had to travel back to my base to create some more railing with the carpenter. And I want to put this railing up on all three levels of the building. So this is gonna go around the first level, like patio or terrace. It's also gonna go around the edge of every single level of the building. And then we're gonna add some stair railing for the stairs. It's a little fancier with this than just having it straight up out there. And sometimes some of the corners are a little tricky. This part takes a little bit of time. isn't difficult, it's just a little bit tedious at times. But definitely make sure that you have snapping on, unless you're at one of the awkward corners where you need to turn snapping off. Okay, now we're going to add some nice doors to the building. I think I had to go get more railings built at my other base, and I picked up some doors while I was there too, because I remembered that I did not yet have any doors installed. And you can see, for some reason, I had a little bit more trouble with that particular corner. And here, I'm noticing I did something funky with my build. And I'm going to have to fix that wall there. But we could finish putting up the railing and then go worry about that. Okay, so now we have the railing up on first, the second, and third level. But oops, I forgot a spot over here, so we're gonna finish that up. And I was just making sure that it wasn't popping through the wall. Alright. Let's pop in some more doors. And I like the intricate designs along the frame of these doors. So, running outside to look at it, I like how it looks with the railing. I wasn't sure if I was going to put railing on the very top roof, but I think it looks awkward now without it. So we are going to put in another set of stairs up to the very top of the temple. Just trying to find the right spot for it. And fixing another little design mistake. Just kind of checking out, make sure everything looks good. Definitely gonna have to get some more resources to finish this up. But we'll pick back up where we leave off here today, add in more stairs, add in more railings, and then the next step is to build out a little village or city below. And that'll be started in part 4 of the Desert Temple series. We'll also add some of the stair railing in the next session. But I appreciate everybody joining, and follow my channel, Just Baby Mode, on YouTube for all the latest videos. Try to post at least one a week. Sometimes I end up having more time and post more, but one per week at minimum, sometimes more.